It's raining rain. Hallelujah, it's raining rain, baby. No, really, it is. So I feel like we need the overhead light on because I can't see at all when the lights are off. It's nasty outside. Good morning, my beautiful babes and babettes. I am your resident active advocate. Today, I decided I would like to talk to you about support systems that you can draw upon when you have depression, either unipolar or bipolar. Naturally, the first thing we're all going to think about is therapy, and yes, that's a very good idea if you can afford it. The problem with the American health system, at least, is that things to do with mental health are not very often covered in one's insurance, and if they are, it's still a rather pitiable amount that one can draw upon, and visits to the therapist I know are not cheap. Thankfully, I'm Canadian. We have socialized healthcare. I know we're all a bunch of communists, whatever. But it works. It's better in that sense. If you do have the capability of speaking to a therapist, that's probably your best go because these people are professionals. They've seen 1.5 million cases probably that are at least comparable to yours. No one's neurology is ever absolutely identical, not even with identical twins, because those diverge in accordance with their environment, their friend group, la-di-da-di-da, how they're treated by other people. Right, so therapy is your best bet if you can afford it, if you've got the time. No one in our society has time for anything, which is also a very primary cause of depression and anxiety, by the way, because I think that collectively we put too much pressure on ourselves and on one another, but especially on ourselves, because this is always the worst critic, always. And that's true even for people who don't have depression at all. So therapy is probably your best bet. I don't know exactly what they would do specifically for a specific case, because as I say, every case is different. It might be cognitive behavioral therapy, it might be other things. They can prescribe you medication if you see a psychiatrist rather than a psychologist. There's a difference there. The difference is that the psychiatrist is also an MD, medical doctor, whereas the psychologist is not. They're more of a therapist, and they will engage you more in talk therapy as opposed to medicational therapy. And other than therapy, though, I personally have to advocate for the other course of action you should be taking, and I do say should be taking, when you are feeling down about yourself and about your life, is to attempt to connect with other people. Everyone has people in their life who loves them, even if they feel unloved, even when they feel alone. There are always going to be people who are on your side. They're going to at least attempt to understand you. There are going to be people who want to help you. But the only piece of advice I can give on that is to let them in. And I know how difficult that is, because depression, especially, not as much with anxiety, but depression is a very isolating disorder. It makes you feel as though you are isolated always and that you are alone. Therefore, the feelings of worthlessness and valuelessness and listlessness, they can creep in. But those come in primarily when we do not have that support system, when we do not draw upon the support system that we have. This might sound either cliche or like a sermon, and maybe it's both, but cliches are cliche for a reason. It's because they actually do commonly work. The whole thing about connecting with other people, because humans are social animals. No matter how introverted you are, you're still a social animal. That's cliche, but that's cliche because it's true. I know that it's very difficult to connect with other people when you feel so alone inside your own mind. It's not an illusion. I'm not going to say that your depression, your sense of isolation is an illusion, because it's real to you. That which is real to you is true to you, is not a lie. It's not a lie if you believe it, okay? Even if you say that 2 and 2 make 5, if you legitimately believe that, then it's not overtly a lie, because you don't know that you're lying. A lot of the time, though, when we have depression, we lie to ourselves about how much we are worth as human beings, because, of course, as I've previously discussed, we tend to set ourselves up against other people, compare our lives to other people's lives. You know, they have so much, they're so beautiful, they're so rich, they're so successful. And that is the whole point of capitalism. I am very rigidly anti-capitalist, and if my channel ever got big enough to be monetized, this video would not be monetized because I'm saying that. I am rigidly anti-capitalist because capitalism creates hierarchy. Hierarchy creates capitalism. They are symbiotic in terms of their relationship with one another. The one feeds into the other. And that's very much the case as well with how capitalism and this dynamic of the high, the middle, and the low that it creates, that can affect this. It sets up that rigid hierarchy within the mind, and if you perceive yourself as the low or even as the middle, but then so many other people are better than you, have more than you, do more, know more, say more, are more. If you believe that, then you are destined to feel alone. You are destined to feel like a failure. I am not saying don't feel that. There is no such thing as a wrong feeling, ever. Even if you feel like you want to murder someone, there is no such thing as a wrong feeling. There can be wrong actions in support of those feelings, but there is no such thing as a wrong feeling, ever, because humans are feeling creatures. And if we deny that to ourselves, then we are denying our own humanity, and that is fundamentally unhealthy. So when you feel sad, when you feel angry, when you feel alone, allow yourself to feel that way and get help. There are always going to be people around you who want to help you, who understand you, and who want to know you, and who want you to know them. And people don't want you to be alone. You know, humans are social creatures. There's no point in cutting oneself off from their fellow humanity. It's not good for you mentally. It's not good for anyone mentally. I don't care if you have depression or not. Humans are social beings. We thrive off of other people. We can thrive internally, but we can only do that if we thrive externally as well. And by thrive, I mean get together with others, because that's what we are biologically coded to do. And it might not be a cure for depression, but God, if you have a supportive system around you, people who love you, people who want you to be well, it's going to help you feel as though you have value, and that is half the battle right there. That and medication and therapy. Please do not neglect yourself in regards to those, because those can also be of fundamental importance in terms of just at least elevating other aspects of your depression. So, yeah, in terms of support systems, you have the medical end and you have the social end. There's always those two things going on in everyone's life, regardless of whether you're disabled, regardless of whether you have a mental illness. You know, there's always going to be those two sides of things, the physical side and the emotional side. So I hope that this is helpful to anyone here who does feel as though they are alone. I know it's a huge leap to take. I truly do. It's a big leap to take. It feels like you're overstepping your bounds, but please attempt to hook up with other people. It can be a family member, it can be a friend, it can be even a total stranger. If you want to vent on me, go ahead. A, I have thick skin. B, I am here to help. But I would also advise that you vent to a therapist. That's a much better idea because, as I have said before, I am not a medical professional whatsoever. So that is my video for today, and I will see you tomorrow to further discuss this topic. Again, I have no idea what I'm talking about tomorrow. I will figure that out today. All right, have a wonderful day. Hopefully it's not raining where you are. Fare thee well. Bye! Mwah.